When Chris and I started dating, if he took too long to text me back, it felt like the world was ending. The rejection that I felt and the worry that he wasn't really into our relationship was all consuming. I couldn't focus on anything else. Of course, I thought that the only solution would be for him to text me more. Let's talk about why more texts and phone calls aren't going to fix your anxiety. With an anxious attachment style, it kind of feels like your phone is the thermometer for how your relationship is doing. If your phone's buzzing, if it's lighting up all the time, you're safe. And if it's quiet, you might kind of feel like you're spiraling. And then you've got the internet that's saying stuff like, if they wanted to, they would. And your best friend who might say, it only takes like 5 seconds for them to send a check-in text, so why won't they just do that for you? And I have to admit, I thought this a lot too. But there's an important concept that'll kind of change this for you, I think. It did for me. It's the concept of filler time, and it works for texts and phone calls too. So when Chris and I first started dating, I thought that I wanted to spend 7 days a week with him. I thought that I needed that, and I needed him to want that too. But what I didn't realize was all that time that I wanted us to spend together, it wasn't quality time, it was filler time. Filler time meaning just sitting and staring at each other or existing in the same room without any kind of deep conversation. It wasn't scratching the itch. It wasn't making me feel like he actually wanted to be with me. And what I didn't realize when I was begging for more texts and phone calls is that filler texts and phone calls are kind of what I was asking for too. And if I imagined a world where he was texting and calling me all the time, I also didn't realize that each one of those texts and phone calls was going to be giving me like a little dopamine spike that made me feel better and more confident and reassured about our relationship, when really they're not substantial points of contact between us. They'd be like empty calories, just filler. And that actually keeps your brain on a kind of an anxiety loop because that dopamine wears off pretty quick. So what do we do with this? You don't actually need more texts and more phone calls. What you need is to feel like you're being held in their mind when you guys are far apart. So instead of more check-ins, let's go for more meaningful check-ins. That's what we did. Instead of asking Chris to call or text me 14 times during the day so that I could feel good like he was thinking of me all day long, we went for 1 or 2 really good, meaty, meaningful phone calls or texts. For us, that looked like a morning check-in and an evening goodnight call back when we didn't live together. The morning phone call is always nice because that's where we would tell each other what we were going to be up to during the day. That way, if we were far apart, it kind of felt like we were still in the loop. The nighttime phone calls were my favorite though. It seems like even if I hadn't heard from him throughout the day, we would get to kind of rehash our day, talk about what we liked, what we didn't, and usually always during those phone calls, one or the other of us would find something where we'd say, I thought of you when this happened, or this made me think of you, or you would have really liked when. And it's like the next best thing to being there with them. Now that we live together, we're married now, we don't need a morning or nighttime recap phone call, but we also don't need to be texting each other all day long, all throughout the day. We're busy, we've got other stuff going on. But I love a good heartfelt text during the middle of the day, and he knows that. He's also not exactly Shakespeare. I've learned to really treasure a well-placed thinking of you text, and I've also learned to notice that feeling inside that I'm feeling a little disconnected in my relationship. And instead of trying to force him to call or text me more when I notice that feeling popping up every now and then, that's when I plan something significant and connecting for us to do together, like a really good date night. It's also important to note that you guys might be looking at texts differently. For my husband, a text is like a logistical tool. He uses it to schedule things or deliver information or let me know if there's something one of us needs to pick up at the grocery store. For me, a text message feels like intimacy. I didn't realize that he doesn't feel closeness from those text messages, so no wonder he forgets it. So instead of trying to force him to be more like me, if one or the other is feeling any disconnect in our relationship, that's when it's important for one or the other to plan something that makes us both feel like intimacy and closeness is happening. For us, that's a date night, not a phone call or text. So maybe the real lesson in all of this is to stop using phone calls and texts to make you feel secure about your relationship, and instead find that thing that makes both people feel close and connected, and be really intentional about scheduling that. And also, it takes about 5 seconds to send a thinking of you text. So if you're that partner who doesn't like to do that, but it really means a lot to your partner, maybe send him a text right now. My name's Rikki. I'm a relationship writer. Thanks for watching. I'm posting videos here all the time. Subscribe so that you don't miss the next one.